You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Boy, howdy, do we have a special treat for you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's a special night tonight. Tonight, we have on the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast, the best friends. And no, I'm not talking about the AEW stable. I'm talking about the P3 stable. I'm talking about the greatest cruiserweight tag team champions that ever walked the face of this earth. That would be POOTSBURGH and Ransom the Madman. It's a two-man power trip tonight. Beef is off in beef land doing beef things. I think he's trying to recover mentally from not once again regaining the cruiserweight championship. I think it drove him over the edge a little bit, and he's out stomping on villages or doing whatever Godzilla does. So that's what he's doing. Tom, he's fighting his way through the jungle. I think Craven, the hunter, is after him. So, you know, he's on the move. So, yeah, I mean, those two guys aren't doing well in their, you know, combined state of anguish and dismay, being hunted and chased and stomping on villages. So you get POOTSBURGH and Ransom the Madman tonight. We're going to do picks for WWE. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something.
AEWF. I don't fucking know.
For AEW Money in the Bank. And then next week, we'll do picks for WWE All In. And it'll be...
I'll tell you what. Ransom, if I may, that was a great intro. You're not used to going that long on him. I understand without being interrupted. So allow me, if I may. Tonight, we're going to be doing, that's what he said, the best friends, the two-man power trip. We're going to be doing picks for WWE's Money in the Bank. Yeah. I don't know. That might have been a spoiler for one of my picks, but I don't really care. We're going to be doing that, and we're going to be doing our picks. The other two are going to be putting their picks on our Facebook page. So go on over to Facebook, find the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast, and go ahead and do that. I had a day off today, so I am full of a lot of terrible food and beer. So we're
yes.
Yeah. It was a day where I went, I'm going to be productive. I'm going to be this. I woke up, made my coffee, and I went, nope, it's time for video games, reading books, and eating food. So that's what I did.
No. Not productive. No.
No. Eating food, drinking beer, reading books, and playing video games. Yeah. So... but we're going to be making those picks. We're going to be doing them here. I am taking over the role of scribe for tonight. Not nearly as good as one Beef does, but he's busy stomping buildings. And, Tom, I don't think Craven the Hunter knows what he's getting into with him chasing you, okay? So, you just stay cool. Remember, just remember, hide in the mud. That way you'll stay away from his heat vision. If you see triple lasers on your wait a minute, I'm thinking of the Predator. Fuck.
I'm here. Kill me.
Kill me now.
Come on.
Do it.
I'm here. You one ugly motherfucker.
They got you pushing pencils. They high five.
What the fuck did I do wrong?
It pauses on them after they slap hands, and it pauses on both of them so they can flex. Oh my God. The 80s were such a good time for fucking movies. Jesus Christ. Oh man.
They were something.
Now and the other thing is too, I want to apologize for our listeners. You're not going to get the normal machinations of Mr. Beef the Legend and the intricacies. I've really been trying hard to stay on top of the product. AEW, I'm dynamite with. But like, yeah, you see what I did there? That's the kind
I like it.
That's the
like it.
That's the
Yeah.
yeah. That's the kind of clever things you get with Poot the Bard, baby. Oh God, so many stolen gimmicks. Anyway, what do you say? What do you say we dive into this? I'm going to give you the rundown of the matches, and I am going by the order that is on the Wikipedia. Okay, we've got 7 matches. We've got 7 points to wager. And this is all, yeah, I know it's not a huge card on this one, but
7's actually more than I thought they were going to have.
I thought they were going to sit around 6, but I think all the matches are going to be bangers. You ready for this? We're going to start here, and this is in order here for the thing. First match that we're going to have, and not necessarily how we're going to pick them, but first match is going to be the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's the men's Money in the Bank contract for the briefcase. The participants in that one, you've got Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, L.A. Knight,
yeah,
Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul. Okay? The next match is going to be Money in the Bank ladder match for the women's contract for Money in the Bank. That's going to be Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bayley, Io Sky, and Trish Stratus. Yeah, right? I mean, Trish has been arguably having a pretty good run with her coming back. I think she's been doing great, and she looks great, and that's not meant to be lecherous. Like, she's doing well.
No,
she's not
performs well in the ring.
Yeah, she's not showing her age like at all.
No,
no. I mean, like in her post WWE and her Legends time, I guess we could say she's a yoga instructor, correct? Is it yoga or some kind of fitness or something like that?
It's some sort of fitness. Yeah, she's definitely into some sort of fitness. She's an instructor of some kind.
Yeah, and she's kept herself in excellent condition. So good on her for this run. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to that. Next up, we have a singles match. It is Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio with the mommy, Rhea Ripley. And that's just that. There's no real stakes to that. It's just a singles match there, Cody versus Dominic. And I don't know, you know what, we'll cover that. I have a question about that match for you. I want your opinion on that. The next one, we have Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. Now that's going to be a singles match for the newly minted World Heavyweight Championship. Following that, we've got the Bloodline Civil War tag match. That's going to be the Bloodline, which is what they're called now, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, with the greatest mic man and greatest mouthpiece in the history ad infinitum, Mr. Paul Heyman. And then we have the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, and it's just a Civil War tag team match. Hopefully Ant-Man shows up. Next up, we have tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, which I'm glad that that's coming back into the spotlight. We have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, Team Mouth Punch, versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I almost called her Gonzalez. I like Raquel Gonzalez better, but who doesn't love alliteration? Finally on the card, we have Gunther, who is the reigning WWE Intercontinental Championship, almost said international, WWE Intercontinental Champion versus Matt Riddle, the original bro. So a really good lineup. I think a really good main card. I do. I think this is a really, really good main card. And apologies to anyone. I know Beef is somewhere going, because I'm ignoring the pre-show. But we're going for main card. That's how I'm doing it. I'm in charge. I'm the scribe. We're in charge. The two-man power trip is in charge. So we're going to start. So why don't we start right now? Again, Ransom, you got 1 through 7. I'm keeping track for you. So if you forget, I've got you covered, buddy. Why don't we go ahead and start with we're gonna do Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. No, you know what? That's for a championship match. Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley. No title in there, no Money in the Bank contract. It's just a straight up match. And I also don't want to lose my thought on this. So we have Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio. Do you feel like that this match was just a vehicle for Cody Rhodes to have a match on a pay-per-view? Do you? I kind of. It's kind of how I
honestly,
feel.
It seems like it. It seems like it. I appreciate that they built some promos around it. They did have, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 Raws where they had some dialogue back and forth. But even if it was 1 Raw, at least it was something. But it does feel a little thrown together. Like, I can't imagine Cody and Dom continue this on into a long-standing feud. Like, I have to believe that this is a one and done type deal.
Right. And I kind of agree on that. I don't know. It's just maybe it's because I am a little more spotty with the product than I am with AEW, but it just kind of feels like, okay. Now, to be fair, this also is kind of a good platform for Dominic to really show his stuff, because he's proven a lot of naysayers wrong over time. He really has.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. And you have the predominant good guy in Cody Rhodes going up against the guy who arguably has the most heat as a heel in WWE at the moment. So, I mean, yeah, you put a good guy against a guy that everybody loves to hate. Of course, it's gonna be good. I think the crowd's gonna be fairly hot for this match. Hopefully, they don't use it as a cool down match, but nonetheless, yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna do to see who picks first, just because I think it's hilarious. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna flip a coin. I'm just gonna do online coin flip. Are you ready? Ransom, heads or tails?
Heads.
All right, let's see. All right, it's heads. I guess I'm going first. Yeah, it was heads. I went on Google and Googled coin flip, and Google had a browser-based coin flip, and you got... Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah, they do. Google's great. I was going to find a wheel and spin a wheel, but nah, we just did an online coin flip. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be pretty up with this. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's going to be Cody Rhodes for 6. That's going to be me. I mean, it's like, not that it wouldn't give a really good rub to Dominic Mysterio, but just for me, I'm like, why have Cody lose to Dominic Mysterio? Why? Like, the only way I could see that Dominic getting a win over this, and if they are going to continue a little bit of a feud.
Are you muted?
No. Oh, I was muted. Oh, I was muted for Ransom. I wasn't muted for the recording. It was my fault because I put a dash. Okay, so on my Discord, my macro for mute myself in the chat is minus, and I put a dash in when I did my pick and I punched it in. So I muted myself to you.
I'm going to go. And I thought you were pausing for effect. No. And then it went on for a little long, and I'm like, did I? What happened? Did I disconnect? I looked at my Discord and I saw the little mute sign on your icon. I'm like, uh-oh.
No, that was
Cody mute.
That was me being a dope. But I'm saying I'm putting 6 on Cody Rhodes. The only reason that I could see him losing is if Rhea Ripley gets involved and there's shenanigans and Dominic sneaks away with the win. That's honestly the only way I could see Dominic winning. And if Dominic did win clean, I mean, it would be a good rub for him, but then I'm sorry, but like the kind of what do you do with Cody?
That pisses in Cody's Wheaties real bad.
Yeah, and he doesn't need that at this point. So
nope.
So that's where I'm going. I'm going 6 Cody Rhodes.
Oh Lord. I mean, honestly, I could. There are a lot of these that are tough for me tonight. This one's tough because I could see it going either way.
Right.
I have a hard time believing it would be a clean win for Dom, but like when you got Rhea out there oof. The screwing over is easy, and with Cody going through the hard times. Oh, motorcycles. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them to feed Cody a loss here. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with Cody. Like, I really don't. You know, we all thought he was going to win at Mania. He lost, and now what? It's Money in the Bank, and he's wrestling Dominic Mysterio. What is happening?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm lost with it. Like, I'm lost with what they're doing with Cody. Like,
I think, to be perfectly honest with you, I think they're kind of holding and biding their time to correct the mistake from WrestleMania.
boy,
I really do. I really think that's the case, because I think they're just trying to find shit for him to do until they can start the program with Roman again, and then kind of correct that. Really, I really think that's the case, but that's a whole nother conversation. But like, yeah, I mean, like, he's kind of miring in the upper mid card right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which,
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yes.
at least they haven't completely written him off or forgot about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It could be worse. I mean, it could be a lot better, but it could be worse.
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering what the over/under is on like a Brock Lesnar type interference, and them setting up Cody Brock 3 for SummerSlam. I don't know if Brock interferes here, costs Cody the match, or hell, even interferes and just gets, Dominic disqualified by just straight up rolling in and beating down Cody. I mean, it gives Cody the win, but at the same time,
yeah.
It's Brock showing up and messing Cody up. I don't know if they're going to set up a Cody Brock 3, but I imagine if they did, it would be at SummerSlam. I can't imagine them throwing it away in like a weirdo pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. I think it would be a higher keynote thing for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
in any case, I think I'm going to go with Cody for 3 because I'm not confident that there's not going to be shenanigans going on in this match.
Okay, that's fair. And and at this point, I'm going with my gut, because it seems like lately a lot of
yourself
times,
again.
Son of a bitch. On the recording,
Use a colon. Stop using dashes.
I can't help it. It's a default thing. Like, I go like space dash. I even thought to myself, use equals, you piece of shit. Anyway, so all right, three makes perfect sense though. It makes absolute perfect sense. Okay, so we got Cody Rhodes, Dominic Mysterio. Next up, why don't we lean into the Intercontinental Championship match? We have Gunther versus Matt, the original Bro Riddle. You're up on this one for the first time, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you're up.
All right. Can you do me a favor and pause the recording here real quick?
Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second.
Get out of here, sweeper. What was I saying? Matt Riddle?
Yeah, Matt Riddle. Something about Matt Riddle and Gunther. Oh, God.
Oh, hello.
I'm sorry. Nothing. Don't mind me. Never mind me. Go on.
Poot's MySpace was going off.
I like saying hi to 2007 every once in a while.
Oh, hell. Maybe after we do this recording, you could put a diary entry in your Zanga.
Oh, God, Zanga. Please talk about Matt Riddle and Gunther instead of Zanga. Oh, no.
I mean, I think Matt Riddle's great, but
Yeah.
I don't think that Matt Riddle and Money in the Bank are the person in place to take this title off of Gunther. I at least hope not. I at least hope not. I know Vince loves Matt Riddle.
Now, Vince loves Riddle.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Not Matt
I know
Riddle.
Vince loves Riddle. You're right. But I'm hopeful that when the time comes, they'll make it a big deal for Gunther to be beat, and not just like, hey, it's Money in the Bank. Hey, it's Matt Riddle because why? And here, Gunther just got beat he lost the title. Oh, I hope not. I hope they don't do that. He's been on such a hot streak with this title, and he makes it look so good, and he makes it look so believable. I really hope they do justice when this title comes off of him. So I just don't think it's the time or the place. So I'm going to say 7 on Gunther.
Wow, you're going full Big Daddy Boar 7 on Gunther.
I am. I can't. Man, this dude is so impressive. Like,
oh, for sure. For sure.
I can't sing this guy's praises enough. I really can't. Like, he's just freaking awesome.
He's so good. And the thing is to see his transformation. Like, oh God, what happened?
It's fine. Knock my water bottle over. Okay.
Oh no. I was waiting for the flood, the deluge.
No, we're okay. We're all right.
Okay, we're good.
Everything's fine. The lid was on. Everything's good.
You basically said it already for me. As far as this goes, that's why I'm going Gunther for 5. I'm saving my 7, but I'm going Gunther for 5 because the person who takes the title off of Gunther, it needs to be like it has to be like whoever takes the title off of Roman Reigns. Like
it needs to be a spectacle. It really does.
It needs to be something huge. It needs to be someone who's believable but has an uphill battle.
Yep.
And then Gunther, the thing that I'm excited for whenever he does lose this belt is it's going to put him up in the main, the like top tier scene. It's going to put him in the World Heavyweight Championship picture. It's going to put him in the Universal title like time period. So like, or not time period in that section. Like it's gonna be great. And I think Gunther is going to really stand his ground as he always have. Speaking of World Heavyweight Championships, why don't we take care of that next? We've got Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot online of people kind of getting behind Finn Balor that he should hold this belt. That he should have it.
Yes, have it. Look, I don't disagree with that, but I feel like Finn Balor having that title should have happened in the tournament to crown the inaugural new returning World Heavyweight Champion.
Right.
Like, that's when he should have taken it. But if Seth wins that tournament and holds the belt for a pay-per-view and then loses it to Finn Balor, we're already starting down a path of like, oh boy, here we go. Like, here's Hot Potato City.
Yeah.
And honestly, it makes it, at least to me, I'm pulling a beef. To me, it makes them both look like afterthoughts. Because it makes Finn look like an afterthought of like, oh, well, maybe we should have had him win the tournament, but we didn't, so we're going to have him win now. And then it makes Seth look like an afterthought because it's like, hey, Seth won the tournament. Oh, and he lost it a month later, and now his World Heavyweight Championship reign is just over. It's gone. So it kind of makes them both feel like afterthoughts to me, and I don't think it really elevates either one of them. It almost makes it kind of look like WWE went, maybe we made a mistake. Maybe we don't know what to do. Here, have a title.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. However, since I'm the first one picking this one, are you ready for Poot's goofball pick of the pay-per-view?
Oh no, are you getting weird with it?
Oh, I'm getting weird with it. I'm putting 1 point on Finn Balor. It's not because I think Balor's going to win. I'm just like, you know what? I have one pick where I go, let's get weird with it. Let's risk our 1 on something goofy. and maybe this is why I have not had a title reign in a while, but just for giggles, and also like I said, I really believe that Rollins is going to retain here, but the last time that these two did go toe to toe for a title, which one was it?
It was Finn.
It was Finn. And he was the chosen. It was only because of that buckle bomb on the outside that it kind of, put the kibosh on that, which was really unfortunate because I would have loved to see what Balor did with that and what they let him do. But then again, all the stuff we got after that with Finn has been fantastic. But this is just my Poots goofball pick of the pay-per-view. 1 point, Finn Balor. Fight me.
I won't.
All right, go ahead.
I won't do it. So, since you said you've been keeping up a little bit more on the weeklies with the double E's, is there still tension between Finn and Damian?
No,
or was that kind of a little bit of a one-off there?
No, I said I have not been. I've been keeping up with AEW more.
Oh,
no, and I understand. Like, listen, anyone who's out there who goes like, "Wow, these guys are supposed to know everything about wrestling." I also like, am an adult. The I love WWE, but man, think about it. You have Raw, you have SmackDown, you have NXT. That right there is 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of wrestling by itself. That's it. Plus AEW, that's a shit ton of thing. So I do my best to stay on top of WWE, but
yeah,
it's tough.
And I don't have cable, so
yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. And I forewent Hulu because they also neutered the show down to an hour and a half, which is stupid. I still think that's one of the dumbest things in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if they're keeping up with that. I would imagine they have because there hasn't been a payoff to it. So that would be an intricacy for Mr. The Legend when he comes back.
Yeah. I wish he was here so I could ask him about that because I'm almost wondering, like, what if?
Oh, you're wondering that what if, huh?
Yeah, I'm sort of wondering, like, what if Damian wins Money in the Bank? And what if Finn Balor wins the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins, and Damian comes out same night and cashes in against Finn?
That would be something. Now, what if Damian wins and he what if he comes out? What if Rollins wins? He comes out to cash in, hands the briefcase to Balor.
Oof.
I don't know if you can do that, but it would be some kind of weird fantasy interesting booking.
It would.
It would be something different. But we could. I'm more curious because I think we're all a little bit more tuned in on those Money in the Bank ladder matches. But in the interim, let's stick with the championship matches that we got rolling and going here. What do you say? I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, go ahead. You got to make your pick.
Yeah, I gotta make my
shit.
pick.
Yeah.
I personally think it's too soon to take the title off of Seth after he just won this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say Seth Rollins for 5.
Seth Rollins for 5. Good pick. Solid pick, Seth. There, I used the equal sign so I didn't mute myself.
Victory.
I'm a big boy. All right. Next up, speaking of championships, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. We have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, the current reigning champions, versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Your first, cowboy.
Really, honestly, I don't know. I can't
do it. Go for it.
No.
Rant.
No, I can't see I mean, I really can't. I can't see these two, as dominant as they are, losing to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Like, I can't see it. It doesn't seem believable to me.
Man, Raquel Rodriguez is a beast. She's a beast. And Liv Morgan always has a lot of love behind her.
She does. She does. But I still think I'm going to go with Team MMA for 4.
You're going to go team face punchies for 4. All right. We'll go Ronda and Shayna. You actually kind of mirrored my thought there. I am also going to be putting my 4 onto team punchy breaky army. Shayna. There we go. Just like you said, because they are so dominant, and it's so fun to hate them. It's so fun to hate them, and I think they need a pair that fits so well together. They fit so well together, and they work so well together. And they're just heat seekers. You know what I mean? I think you need a dynamic team, a really dynamic team like that. People that can draw the ire of a crowd, people that can really kind of like, be big personalities. Liv is a good personality as long as she's not talking, and Raquel is kind of the same way. And that's the thing. You can't just have faces come out and do facey things without talking. Ronda and Shayna, they know how to cut a promo. Well, at least Shayna does. Ronda's okay. But
yeah, and Liv and Raquel just seem like they're thrown together.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, I don't know. I feel like a legit tag team needs to beat Shayna and Ronda for these belts. I don't know if we'll get that. I can't think of a legit women's tag team right now except for Damage Control. So I don't know who that would be. But these two just kind of seem like they threw spaghetti at the wall and were like, all right, we're gonna have Raquel and Liv, because why not? We don't have anything else for them to do. Put them in a tag team title match.
Yeah, that kind of feels about right. But to be fair, there have been a lot of random tag teams that have been thrown together that just work well. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that could be the case. But so yeah, we'll see. I still think that, I think this is going to be a pay-per-view of a lot of retainee stuff. I think that's what's going to happen. Speaking of things that are going to happen, we're going to have a family fight time with the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. I guess I'm up first on this one. Boy, howdy. This is one that's tough for me because why would you not want to give the win to the Usos? Why would you not want that? Because I like having but see, like, that's the thing. Is like Roman Reigns, the quote unquote the bloodline is cracking and crumbling. The cracks in the foundation obviously are there, and the first big structural one was when the Usos left and they're doing their thing. So, like, I mean, you give them the win and have them go over. But, I mean, again, lol, Roman wins. And also, you want to make Solo Sikoa look good. So, I don't know. Man, this is tough. All right. I'm putting my 2-pointer on the Usos. Just because I think it would be really cool for them to sneak off with a victory. I think that would be good. I think it would be interesting. Even if they got it some way where they did like face shenanigans, like whether it's, you know, the face holding the tights and it's just like, oh fuck, they played by his rules and now they, you know, like something like that. If somehow Paul Heyman like gets involved and fucks it up for Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, I think that would be good. Maybe Solo does something to Roman and Paul Heyman. I don't know, but like I think it would be good to have the Usos pull one over. You know what I mean? What did JR used to say? Whenever someone would steal a victory, he would yell something into his headset or into his cowboy hat. I can't remember.
Oh,
he always had a thing that he used to say.
Yeah.
You know, it would be after they did that because they would get the pin and then they would slide out of the ring and run back towards the entranceway, and he'd say they're running like a scalded dog. They're running like a scalded dog. So I'm gonna say the Usos for 2, just because I'm like, it's a little bit of a goofy pick, but like, I would kind of like to see it. This is one of those picks I'm making because I would kind of like to see it. So that's where I'm at. Where are you at?
Do I have a 2-pointer?
You do in fact have a 2-pointer.
Okay.
You have a 1. You have a 1, a 2, and a 6.
Scheiße. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I'm really struggling with. Damn. I mean, you on one hand, you want to see the Usos win because they just broke away from the bloodline. They finally stuck it to Roman. They're on the same page together. The fans are now cheering for the Usos. So you want to see them win, but on the other hand, how many times can you have the team of Roman and Solo lose without it being a detriment? You know, if Roman and Solo lose, Roman's not going to eat the pin.
Right.
Because it's been however many days, years, however, since Roman was pinned. So that's not going to happen here. Even though, you know, his 3 titles aren't on the line, that doesn't matter. They're still not going to probably hand him his first pinfall loss here.
Right. It would absolutely be Solo.
Yeah, it would be Solo taking the pin. But, good Lord, you're not going to do any good things to Solo by constantly have him eating the pin. You know, I feel like any time that Roman has lost, it's been because somebody else was pinned. And how many times was that Solo? I feel like that was a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to continue to have Solo eat those pins, because people are going to look at him and go like, oh, like everybody seems like they walk on eggshells around Solo Sikoa because he's big, scary Umaga monster. But all he does is get pinned. So eventually people are going to stop seeing him as this, you know, like, oh, this enforcer type Samoan monster, because all he does is eat a pin. I don't know if it's going to be a clean win. Like, I really don't. But I think the bigger part of me feels like Roman and Solo have to come away with a win here, because they've really set it up to be like Uso heavy. You know, the last match that Roman and Solo are in, Jimmy cost them the match by super kicking Roman. You know, whenever Jimmy and Jay officially left the bloodline, Jay super kicks Roman, leaves him down, and then they both super kick Solo. So like, Jimmy and Jay have been coming out on top of a lot of these confrontations. So that leads me to believe that it's probably going to be Roman and Solo picking up the win. Even if it's not a clean win, if it's a dirty win, it's still a win. So I am going to hedge my bet on Roman and Solo for 2 points.
All right. Roman and Solo. That again, that's you're making the smart decisions, man. I'm the one being out in left field, making dirt castles. That's what I'm doing. All right, so we got all those out of the way. Now it's time for the 2 keynote matches, baby. It's time for the Money in the Bank ladder matches. We're going to go ahead and start with the women's match. Again, that is Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bayley, Io Sky, and Trish Stratus. And I believe you are up first for this one.
Really, for me, this comes down to Bayley or Becky Lynch.
Right.
Because I'm happy that Trish is finally getting to participate in a women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the smartest idea to give Trish that briefcase. I don't know that they're going to give her another run as women's champion. I don't know that she needs another run as women's champion at this point. She's built her legacy. She has that legacy of being one of the best women's champions. So I don't think she needs it. And I don't think it would do her good to win it, cash in, and lose. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me to have that happen.
Like, I would agree. I would agree with you. But like, if you do give it to Trish, let me just postulate this, okay?
All right.
If you do give it to Trish, it's going to be entertaining.
Yes.
It's going to be entertaining. And who is going to have the best? Now, understandably, Money in the Bank can be held for, like, theoretically a year, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who is going to have the best program, though, if and she does hold it for a lengthy amount of time with Asuka? That's my question. I'm going to let you do your picks, but like I would postulate that it would be someone with history with Asuka, someone who knows Asuka, someone who's been around the horn with Asuka. So, or maybe someone like Trish Stratus who has never been around the horn with Asuka, who's never interacted with her that much.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Asuka or it could be Rhea Ripley.
Could be.
I don't know. Really, I don't know who they're gonna put this on. I would love to see a new person, somebody that you wouldn't really expect. I'd love to see Io Sky win it. But I mean, really, if I don't know, this is one where I absolutely have no idea. So this is my 1 pointer. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to toss it on Becky Lynch because
all right.
I don't really have a good reason, but yeah.
All right. 1 point on Big Time Bex there. I've got my 3 and my 7. So I didn't mute you, did I?
You did not.
Oh, good. I'm getting better. Good.
Yes. Good.
Do it. I'm in this one. I am. See, this is the match that I was going to be like, oh man, I'm really not up on the product. Just because I'm like, boy, howdy, this is tough. It's a 3-pointer. It's not the end of the world, but still.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it out there, and I am going to say... absolutely nothing. Otis runs in and steals the briefcase.
No!
Caterpillars.
Who was that doofy? Who was that doofy that pulled it down and gave it to Carmella?
Oh, James Ellsworth.
Yeah, he comes back and wins it.
He's coming to Imagine Wrestling out by me.
That's unfortunate.
Hey, man, listen. People liked him, and he was a good character. He had his 15 minutes of fame, man. He did his thing. He did the thing. He was in the WWE, and he had a match with AJ Styles. That's more than I can say I've done. It doesn't mean he's not a doof.
I think we're forgetting about Santina.
Oh, God, why? Well, that's it, everyone. P3 Podcast run is over. We're done. We're shutting down the page. Hey, thank you. And we've had a lot of fun. Bye. Fuck. Great. That's just...
you ruined it.
Santina's just going to live in my fucking brain for now. I'm just going to... every once in a while, wherever I am, I'm just going to go, God damn it. And what's wrong? Nothing. I'm mad about something. And I can't possibly explain it. So, like...
it would take far too long to explain why I'm this upset.
Why I'm this upset. It would take like a TED Talk for it. Sit down. Let me talk to you. I'm gonna... you know what? Just to mix it up... Ooh.
Excuse me.
So...
Pardon.
Good Lord.
Oh,
God. It's still coming out. You sure you're all right over there?
Should not have had that third taco.
You know what? Forget it. I'm going to go just because I feel like we should cover all bases and just I'm a big fan. We're going to 3 points on Bailey. We're going to go 3 points on Bailey. All right. Last one. Final pick.
Big boys.
Big boys here. This is the Money in the Bank men's ladders match. Again, this is Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, Logan Paul, and L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ransom, you're first, buddy. Oh, wait, no, I'm first. Fuck.
Oh.
Man, this is hard. Beef, this is harder than it looks. Because, you know, I have two people, and I'm not trying to screw someone over. You manage four of us, and you are constantly trying to shove things in my butt. So, like, you know. Anyway. So, I'm making no bones about this. I am hoping WWE makes the right fucking call. My 7-pointer is going on L.A. Knight. Yeah, that's where my points are going, man. This is the time. This is the time. I know WWE has dropped the ball so many fucking times whenever they should have pulled the trigger. This is the time to do it. The man is white hot with the crowd. He's entertaining. He's good in the ring. Giving him that briefcase is like giving a mouse a cookie. Like, it's just, it's like giving a kid an N64 on Christmas back in 1996. Like, do it. It's going to be the most entertaining thing in the universe. You want someone who can talk and is good in the ring? L.A. Knight, is the one. Like, that's where it's at. It is a no-brainer, and it's nothing against the rest of them. This is going to be, in my opinion, the best match on the card. No offense to Gunther and Matt Riddle. That's a close second. And no offense to Seth and Finn Balor. That's a very close third, in my opinion. I know somewhere Beef just had a stroke. But, like, this is going to be such a good match. Especially with Ricochet and Logan Paul in there. Do you remember that spot during the Rumble?
Oh yeah, that off the
ropes, and they
ropes
crossbody.
Oh yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, forget it. Like those two are nuts.
Oh, they're bonkers. And you just have a bunch of people in that ring that know how to work with each other and know what to do. And I'm including Logan Paul in that, because everything we've seen from him, the man has done the fucking work and he knows what to do.
Yes.
But and arguably putting the contract in the hands of Logan Paul makes a lot of sense from viewership wise, from press wise, from all that stuff. But LA Knight deserves this. He deserves that, so that he can come out and shoot his fucking mouth off every single week. And then just at the 11th hour, the pop he's going to get is going to be on par for whenever Dolph Ziggler cashed in his briefcase on Alberto Del Rio. I think it was on a random SmackDown. His music hit and the pop was Road Warrior worthy. The roof blew off the place. And I think when LA Knight cashes in, the roof is going to blow off the place. Absolutely, without question. 7 points.
Yep.
LA Knight.
Ooh. So look, here, this is my biggest struggle bus match. And thinking earlier in the week about this, I was without hesitation going to pick LA Knight.
All right.
However, I have read multiple reports, not just the same report distributed by different sources. I've read multiple reports about how Vince is continuing his ramp up into being more and more involved in creative on a daily basis. Wrestlers are frustrated, producers are frustrated, people in the back are frustrated because Vince is sticking his nose into things. And one article, I think, I mean, what culture reputable?
Is what? Reputable?
Is what culture?
Oh, What Culture? Absolutely. They absolutely
Okay.
are. Yeah, What Culture Wrestling? They absolutely are.
Yeah.
Them and
Okay.
what was that? Cultaholic. Them, Cultaholic, Fightful. Those are all very
Okay.
reputable.
So I saw an article on What Culture, and I couldn't tell because I don't like, I'm not as good as this as the rest of you guys are, as like what's a reputable source, what isn't. But What Culture did have an article about how WWE, like they said WWE as like a whole is trying to Vince-proof storylines.
Yeah.
And Vince, allegedly, according to this article, Vince McMahon is very big on, if it's advertised, it happens. So like once they advertise it, they're going with it.
Yeah.
Card is always subject to change, yes. And Vince might rewrite Raws and SmackDowns, but Vince doesn't like to rewrite things that have been advertised. So and I think it's hilarious that they're not just saying like what Triple H is doing or what WWE Creative is doing. They're referencing WWE as a whole, trying to Vince-proof storylines by advertising far in advance so that it gets out there, it's been advertised, and Vince won't want to change it.
Yeah.
So enough people are becoming increasingly more frustrated with, once again, Vince McMahon not operating at a high level, but operating more and more on a lower level on a weekly basis in creative. Once again, like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, do you think he was really going to keep his nose out of it? No. Do you think he was just going to let Triple H run the shit and Vince sit back in an office and be an executive, whatever? No. Vince was always going to weasel his way back into having his hands deeper and deeper into creative. And that is what is reportedly happening. Not just like a one-off on a Raw after Mania. Like, it's multiple Raws, multiple SmackDowns. He's getting more and more involved. And that made me hesitate on being completely gung-ho with LA Knight. Because it was Vince McMahon that changed his gimmick and wanted to make him a manager.
Oh, to make him Max Dupree.
Max Dupree.
Max Dupree.
Yes. Because Vince thought he was too old. So that's why LA Knight wasn't LA Knight. That's why LA Knight was Max Dupree and was a mouthpiece and was a manager, because Vince didn't think he could handle a push because of his age.
Listen. So to dispel that there is a ton of press out there, whether it's LA Knight doing the podcast rounds, doing interviews for dirt sheets. I hate to use the term dirt sheets, but for wrestling media, whatever. And it's very out there that, like he said, yeah, I'm in my 40s, but he doesn't have the miles on him that a lot of other wrestlers in their 40s do. He took care of himself. He didn't take he takes very calculated risks. He lives a very clean life. And whenever he was working for Impact and then subsequently NWA, they recorded their shows, and there was a ton of work that he was doing that was just promo cutting. He had his matches, but he wasn't wrestling, crazy, hard, high-flying or intense matches. Not that he doesn't wrestle with intensity, but like, he would go to Impact tapings. They would record, a month or 2 months worth of TV in a week and a half, and then he would have all that downtime. They didn't do house shows. He didn't have to run the indies real hard. I mean, I'm sure he did do some work, but like, that's what he did, is that he did his tapings, he cut his promos, and then he had like a month off. Or he'd have like he'd have like a whole month off to train and recover. Like, he didn't have the intense WWE schedule or the intense indie scene schedule. So in my opinion, I had no idea when Beef told me he was in his 40s. I lost my mind. I was like, "Are you serious? He looks like he's in his like
I never would have guessed.
I'd have said mid 30s, which I know that's not far off, but."
In the wrestling world, that's
it's night and day.
A significant difference.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that kind of adds into the mix of what you've seen and what you've heard, and I understand your fears with Vince McMahon, but I think he's proved his salt to McMahon. If he hasn't, then, I don't know what will.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would hope so at this point. But, with that crazy old man, I never know. So, like, honestly, it was big time between him and Logan Paul. Damian Priest was in there. Like, I was looking at Damian Priest. But my tough decision was Logan Paul and LA Knight. I could see them putting it on Logan Paul because of the eyes it would put on, the briefcase.
Oh, for sure.
But Logan Paul's not there all the time. Like, he's not around. He's not full time there. So if you want it to be believable that it can happen at any time, is it more believable if it's on a guy that's there all the time? Or is it more believable on, like, could Logan Paul shoot this pay-per-view? We don't know. So I really struggling between those two. Damian Priest, I feel like Damian Priest could have a shot at it if they wanted to give him a decent-sized push. But, I mean, like you said, at this juncture, LA Knight is white hot. Why on earth would you not propel him even more forward?
Strap a rocket on his back.
I mean, the rocket's there. You just have to clear the runway.
Yeah.
Honestly, because the crowd eats out of the palm of his hand. He has a good look. It's not like he's one of those guys that goes out there and can talk, but can't operate in the ring. You know, we've seen that before, but LA Knight doesn't seem like one of those guys. He seems like one of those guys that he has the chops. He is amazing on the microphone. He operates well in the ring. He has the look. He doesn't look like a dumpy doughboy. And before anybody gets upset about that, I can say that I'm a dumpy doughboy.
Same.
So, you know, like, really, I don't understand why it wouldn't be him. He has everything.
All the tools
that you could want. Yes, he has everything that you could want in a guy holding the briefcase, being believable to cash in at any time. But I'm worried that this is going to come back and bite me because of Vince McMahon and the way he Vince McMahon's things all the fucking time.
If they have this match on, early, and LA Knight doesn't win, I can almost guarantee you that the crowd's going to take over and just make it an LA Knight night.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would bet a lot of things on that.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it would be as hijacky as, like, you know, what they did with Daniel Bryan or CM Punk. I don't know that LA Knight has that big of a following, but if they put this match on early and LA Knight doesn't win, I think they will have an uphill battle on, you know, getting the fans to come around. Depending, I don't know. I don't know where it's at, so I don't know. Like, some crowds, some cities are easily swayed. You know, like they get their britches in a twist, and then WWE can easily sway them by, you know, putting on a good next match, or, you know, having a decent person cut a promo, and then, you know, they forget all about it. I don't know. I'm off in the weeds on this one. I have to go with my belief that the right thing to do is to put this briefcase on LA Knight and just let him be a star. So whatever I have left, I think it's 6.
Yep.
It's going to LA Knight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be immensely disappointed if it winds up being like Shinsuke or Butch.
Now listen, I'd be okay with Butch. Because that's old Peter Dune. Okay, listen, Peter Dune could do some work. And word is they're gonna take him back to being Peter Dunne. Peter Dune, Pete Dunne. They're apparently gonna take him back to that. I mean, hell, they took what was it? Baron Corbin went back down to NXT and he brought back the Lone Wolf.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that switched his gimmick back when he went back down there. That's
the thing, man. It's like you put people in their wheelhouse. You give them where they're comfortable. The best characters, man. And I think it was Stone Cold who said it. The best, or like, it's a commonly known thing, but like the best characters in wrestling are them cranked up to 11.
Yep.
It's them cranked up to 11.
Yeah, let them do it. Let them do them.
That's what The Rock is. That's what Stone Cold is. That's what Mick Foley is. Actually, I think that's just Mick Foley. But, like, I don't know if I'd want to see him cranked up to 11.
Nope.
But the thing is, and this goes to the point of saying that LA Knight is him cranked up to 11. Like, him whenever he was Eli Drake, no matter what, it's just him cranked up to 11. And that's why it's entertaining. And that's why people gravitate to it, because it's him going out there being him. And like, you gotta love it. Again, I know I've referenced it numerous times on this podcast. Go and watch from his time in NWA, whenever he was Eli Drake, and watch the Shoes of a Champion promo and tell me you don't love that man. We don't deserve. You'll watch that and the words that'll come out of your mouth are, we don't deserve LA Knight. We do not deserve that man. Like, the Shoes of a Champion promo is one of the funniest promos I've ever seen in my life, and one of the most entertaining promos I've ever seen in my life. It's so good. I'd put it up there with one of the best of all time. Like, it's just that good.
Wow.
Yeah, I would.
That's saying something.
I would, because it's one of those things. It's one of those things because it's immediately entertaining. You don't have to know that character or his story in NWA or from anywhere. You just watch that and you go, I like this guy. I get this guy. And you are immediately entertained.
Okay.
That's the best kind of promos, man. Like, when I think of CM Punk. What's the first, aside from, the current times, when you think of CM Punk, what promo pops in your head? Aside from Brawl Out. The what?
The pipe bomb.
The pipe bomb. When you think of a promo with Mankind, what do you think of?
Oh, I don't know. There are a lot.
The one that pops into my head is the one where he had the sit-down interview with JR, and he lit JR not lit JR on fire. He gave JR the mandible claw.
Oh, okay.
That one. Chris Jericho. When you think of a promo Chris Jericho did, what do you think of?
Again, that's another one where
I know there's a lot. We reference we reference it a lot.
I don't know. Is it the best in the world at what he does?
No, the man of 1,003 holds.
Oh, all right.
That's the thing, though, is that you didn't say it right off the bat. But
damn, and that was even early in his career too.
That was way early in his career. Like, and then finally, I'll go ahead and I'll throw it out there. When you think of a Shawn Michaels promo or something, what do you think of?
Every single one. Shawn Michaels mark right here, baby.
Listen, that's fair. The two that pop into my head, one's good, one's bad. The bad one is I lost my smile. The good one, The good one that pops into my head is when he super kicked Marty Jannetty through the window. And that was a promo. It was all a promo. But that's my point, is that promo, the Shoes of a Champion promo, I would put up there. Have you watched it?
No, I have to look it up.
Whenever we're done, we're watching it together because I want to hear your reaction. I'll share it through Discord. We have to watch it. But
all right. So
that's all the picks that we have. And just to run them down really quick, because there's only two of us and we can go ahead and knock this out. For Finn Balor versus Seth freaking Rollins, I picked Balor. You picked, let's see where you picked, old Seth freaking Rollins, for, the Bloodline Civil War tag team match. You know what? I'm just going to start at the top and run down. What am I doing? Beef, help! For the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, we both picked LA Knight. Yeah. For the women's, Money in the Bank ladder match, I picked Bailey. You picked Big Time Bex. For Cody versus Dominic, we both picked Cody Rhodes. For Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor, again, I picked Balor as my goofy pick of the pay-per-view. You picked Seth freaking Rollins. For the Bloodline Civil War tag team match, you picked Roman and Solo. I picked the Usos. For Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez for the Women's Tag Team Championship, we both picked Ronda and Shayna. And then for Gunther versus Matt Riddle, we both picked Gunther. So there you go. That's our picks. The 2-man power trip picks here, and we're the Puff Art Show 2-man power trip best friends. Who are the people that are at the bottom of the picks? I think it's me. I'm one of them.
Oh, I'm always at the bottom.
I was gonna say it's you and me bringing up the rear, man. But that's okay.
It's the way it should be.
Hey, you know what? I like the rear.
Oh my.
Oh mercy. But so I don't know because I do want to watch that Shoes of a Champion promo, and I was trying to see if I could sign into the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast email to see if we had a Stump the Champs, if you wanted to attempt one with just the two of us and not the entire brain trust.
No, well, let's save that for the brain trust. I do like those when we have everybody here.
All right, cool. We'll save that for the brain trust. I'm good with that.
I did want to ask, though.
What?
I wanted to ask you, because they keep referencing the Bloodline Civil War. What are they over under that Jimmy and Jay come out dressed like Marvel characters?
Oh, my God. Well, you think
that's something that would happen, or are they not that nerdy?
I don't think they're that nerdy. I mean, they play video games and stuff, but I don't think they are that nerdy. I will bet dollars to donuts that Roman Reigns comes out wearing the golden glove like he did the Thanos glove.
All right.
You know, I'll bet you he has it. I'll bet you he has it, because I think Roman is smart enough to throw that out there. I don't know, though, man, because that's I don't know about you. Maybe this makes me a very simple-minded wrestling fan. That's one of my favorite things about pay-per-views is people's outfits, man. Their gear. I do. I love it. Seeing it. Love seeing it.
I love the outfits, and that's one of my favorite things about WrestleMania are seeing some of the over-the-top entrances.
Oh,
like, yeah. I love the entrances, and that's one thing. Like, I'll give credit where credit is due. I always looked forward to seeing John Cena at WrestleMania because his entrances were always something special.
Top notch.
Like, his entrances were very rarely just him coming out and doing his John Cena thing. Like, there was always some sort of spectacle that surrounded a John Cena entrance at WrestleMania, and I love that. I mean, people might think that that's hokey and showy or whatever. I mean, think what you think, but I enjoy WrestleMania because of a lot of people have a lot of really good, spectacle entrances, and I enjoy that.
Oh yeah, and I remember a couple years ago, whenever he was more active, we were always like, what superhero is Rey Mysterio going to be dressed up as?
Yep.
Always loved that.
Seth, too. Seth always did that. Yeah. He always had some sort of
kind of
fun
reference
gear where you were looking at his gear going like, all right, who is that? What is that? What's that in reference to?
Oh, yeah, and Ricochet did it, too. Whenever
did
he was... Oh, yeah, Ricochet always... The one time he was Robin. He did the... what was that? Nightwing. He did the Nightwing thing.
Oh, Robin, that's fitting.
Yeah,
Ricochet will never be Batman.
Dude, I know we've backpedaled on this quite a bit where we've said, you know what, these guys are getting paid really well to do their thing. And from all accounts, Ricochet is, like he said in interviews he's happy. Like, I maybe that's what matters.
No, that's what matters, man.
Well, and that's what matters. Like, because even though we like on the indies, and then especially in like over in New Japan or in DDT or like wherever he wrestled, he was king of the indies. Like, he was King Ricochet.
Yep.
Like, and he did great work and everything like that. But you got to imagine, for someone who wrestles such an intense, high flying, high impact style, having the stability of WWE. And having, arguably for him, in a rare case where WWE is a less intense schedule, like, you gotta kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, oh, I'm getting paid a nice regular paycheck, and I I don't have to kill myself. You know, because like
Yep.
when you're on WrestleMania weekend, whenever Beef and I were watching all the independent stuff, it's when we watched all the independent stuff, seeing the work those guys did on one night. I think it was who was it? I think it was no, it was El Vikingo. El Vikingo wrestled, I think, on 3 different shows in one night, and they were within like 4 hours of each other.
Yeah, I think I was there that night.
Yeah,
when we were watching that abuse place.
Yeah, we were watching some of the stuff, and it was just like, you know, those guys though, they get paid crazy amounts of money, and then even guys like Mike Bailey, you know what I mean? Like he did the same thing. He wrestled a shit ton of matches that weekend, but a lot of those guys walk out of that weekend. Some of them, I would imagine, with like $12K, $15K. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're making a good paycheck, but like to see someone like Ricochet like be in a comfortable spot where he's, you know, not having to kill himself, that's always nice. The one thing I wanted to touch on that wasn't WWE. May I?
Yeah, man.
All right. The one thing I wanted to touch on was it came out that from the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Did you happen to catch any of Forbidden Door?
I saw some like write-ups and stuff on it, but I didn't see any of the actual wrestling.
You owe it to yourself to somehow find and watch Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. It was unreal. It was
I've heard that.
Stupid. It was brutal. And it was tastefully done, as I would expect nothing less from those two. But the thing from the night, like the entire pay-per-view was entertaining and very good. But the one thing that came out was the best in the world match. They can say they're the best wrestler in the world. It was Okada versus Danielson. And I'll tell you what, knowing what we know now, with Danielson being injured, and not just injured, he broke. What is it in your your 2 bones in your forearm? Do you know what they are? It's not your. Is it your radius and ulna? I think.
Yeah,
it's radius and ulna. I think are the 2 in your bone. Let me look up. Where's Google? I have it right here. Bones of a champion. Bones in your forearm. I think it's the radius and ulna, if I'm not mistaken, because radius and ulna. So Danielson apparently fractured his radius. Clean break. One of the bones in his arm, clean break, 10 minutes prior to the finish of the match. So for the last 10 minutes, Danielson was wrestling with a broken arm. Not like a blown rotator cuff, not like a torn meniscus, not a dislocated finger. He snapped in half his radius, which that to me is mind-bogglingly ridiculous. That is mind-bogglingly insane that he was able to do what he did with a broken arm. Because dude, I stubbed my toe today and I took 5 minutes and just had to go, like, fight. How do you the level of toughness and intensity that takes is insanity to me. Now, is it good or bad insanity? Like, what's your take on that? I find it something that I believe Edge said when he came back. That takes a lot of grit. That takes a lot of grit and intensity to do. And to not have it be very clear that you're actually injured. Like that's insane.
Yeah, the dude is on another level. Like, I mean, he really is. I mean, it's a double-edged sword for me because while it's ballsy and impressive to break your arm 10 minutes into the match and then finish the match at like a 20 plus, minute mark.
Yeah.
That's incredibly impressive and very ballsy and something I don't think a whole lot of people would have the grit to do. Is it the smartest thing to do?
And that was going to kind of be the point that I hope that you brought up.
I mean, I give Brian Danielson
some bitch.
I fucked it up. I give him amazing props because, I mean, I can't imagine the amount of pain that would be radiating through your body. Wrestling a match with a clean break in your arm like that. Oh, I apologize. Lord, I can't even fathom how much pain that is. So the grit and the balls and the dedication, oh my, all there. And, it proves the salt that this guy has. But on the other hand, man, yeah, it's great to, not stop the match. A lot of people were looking forward to it. You gave the people what they wanted. You didn't disappoint anybody. But damn, man, like there comes a time where you got to think about your welfare and is it smart to do that? You pull a muscle in the middle of a match. Okay. Not a big deal, not a big thing. Walk it off. It'll be fine, but you have a clean break in one of the bones in your arm. I don't know. He's got balls for finishing the match, but was it the smartest thing to do? Hindsight, probably it's not a big deal because he didn't do any more damage than what was already done. So it didn't matter. Could it have been a lot worse? Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, you could have seen something fly through some skin. You take a wrong move or something and that already broken bone is just breaking through skin. And that's going to fuck up your day.
Yep.
Real bad.
Real fucking hard.
But, again, I can't chastise him on a what if that didn't happen, it didn't happen. He finished the match and was no worse for wear. I believe he was no worse for wear after the match than he was when the break actually happened in the middle of the match. So my what ifs are honestly irrelevant. It's a moot point at this point because he didn't do any greater damage. He could have, but he didn't.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the testament of him as a performer. I think it speaks to the testament of him as a professional. But I think it also speaks to the testament of him being a dumb motherfucker. Because, man, you lose 50% of the structure in your leg or your arm or whatever. And, I had my own creatures. I hope that was on the recording. I had someone big dick swinging with their car out there. I missed it. Yeah. But because you have that, you're on that. If you take the bump the wrong way, the whole thing's broken and you're fucked beyond belief. Because it was a clean break and everything like that, he probably won't have to have pins or anything like that. Now, I'm not a doctor, but, I'm just saying, you got to take care of yourself, man. Especially Like that level, I don't like seeing that level of cavalier with Bryan Danielson now, especially what he's been through. Now, maybe that's why he did it, because he's like, I don't have much tread left on the tires. Maybe I got to get it in. And this is something that I think we're going to remember. Was the match in particular super great? Not really. They told a really good story. But I think had Danielson not gotten injured, I think it would have been a little more, a little more intense near the end in the last, the latter half of the match. But it was still really good. Okada put a good showing on, and I like that they put him over, and exactly what I said on our pick-a-sode happened. The Blackpool Combat Club could not eat 2 losses, and I said Danielson was going to be the one who was going to take that victory, and by God, he took the Rainmaker to the desert, and there wasn't any rain. But on that note, I want to show you that promo, and we are getting a little long in the teeth time-wise, just because we got kicking off a little bit late, because I had to have another meal because day off, spoil myself. You got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, man. Nope, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. I'm glad we hung out tonight. It was nice hanging out with you, and hopefully next week we'll be back at 100% here with the whole team, and we'll be able to talk about what the fuck happened at Money in the Bank.
And I hope it's going to be a fucking good pay-per-view.
Me too.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I would do my long goodbyes, but you know what? It's 2-Man Power Trip. I'm going to do what I want. Check out the links in the description in the video and all the other places. For myself, Poot the Bard, the Barbarian, for Ransom the Madman over yonder, and for our 2 missing boys this week, we miss you and we love you, Beef the Legend, our wrestling encyclopedia and Cruiserweight champion, and of course, the one, the only, Tiger.
Yeah.
Uppercut Bomb Tom. We love you, Tom. Thanks, everybody. Bye. You see this podcast right here? Podcast of a champion.
Yeah.